5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, this is my first attempt at making a video using my new webcam. It's not going to be a live stream, it's going to be a video that I'm going to post to YouTube under my YouTube handle, Nate's Hot Takes, also to my blog site, natesHotTakes.com, and to my Facebook and other social media. As you can see, I'm representing the People's Party of Canada by wearing my PPC hat and my Maxime t-shirt. Looking at some of the news coming out of today, you can see that Canada's budget officer says the federal deficit could reach up to 252 million for the year 2020, the fiscal year. So that's not good news for Canada's national debt and deficits. It's going to put a big hurt on Canadian future and future taxpayers and generations, including myself. I'm only 34, I just turned 34 recently, so last week actually. And this coronavirus and the shutdown caused by the COVID-19 pandemic has really just destroyed the economy across the world, but Canada seems to be especially hard hit. And due to policies of the shutdown, which were necessary for a time to slow the spread and allow our healthcare system to get up to capacity and to prepare for any potential surge, because we didn't want to become like Italy, Spain, and elsewhere. We didn't want to become like China, which we don't even know accurate numbers out of China for how many cases, how many deaths, or anything like that. So looking at the numbers, it's quite shocking. CERB, all the different programs that the government's doing, the emergency wage subsidy for businesses who are been affected, all sorts of other subsidies. And the figure is an estimate based on the almost 146 billion spending measures the government has announced to help cushion the economic blow from the pandemic. Estimated declines in the country's gross domestic product and the price of oil remaining well below previous expectations. All these things, it's like a triple whammy. So we're looking at a big economic crisis now, on top of a health crisis, on top of a pandemic crisis with COVID-19. There's always cause and effects and consequences to actions taken, intended or unintended consequences. I think after a month and a half, basically, of the shutdown, Canada has done a good job mostly at flattening the curve and preventing the surge expected in the hospitals. One of the big problems was we had surges in care homes. What else do we have on the news today? Oh yes, we also have a lot of surgeries being canceled. This is from Tuesday, April 28th. Up to 35 people may die in Ontario by early May because their surgeries were canceled. Their cardiac surgeries were canceled or deferred due to hospitals preparing for COVID-19. So, yeah, I'm just testing out to see if that's an issue there. So another issue Canada is facing is supply management is impeding supermarkets from keeping pace with demand. Now, what is supply management? Well, supply management is a system that regulates Canada's dairy and poultry sector. It limits the amount of supply on the market trying to anticipate consumer demand for the product so that it can keep prices artificially high and fixed instead of fluctuating based on free market factors. It is a socialist system implemented by Pierre Elliott Trudeau in the 1970s. And it's very damaging system as it hurts consumers and it also hurts farmers, even though because they don't have the option to produce more, make more products, sell to different markets. They are forced to sell under this supply management system and to operate under this system. As we see, supply management also goes against free trade as importers of large quantities of chicken, cheese, and butter are compelled to pay taxes exceeding 200%. So domestic suppliers have the Canadian market mostly to themselves. This leads to major issues. While there are shortages presently for many goods that aren't supply management, as the article says, the supply management system in Canada creates an intentional shortage. It's intended to keep prices high, fixed high, so that farmers can make a stable income. But what it's led to is mass farms and price fixing, production quotas, and high import taxes, which have been highlighted due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is a problem with the supply management system that Maxime has talked about phasing out and getting rid of and going to a more free market system that's not controlled by cartels and cronyism and the Canadian Dairy Farmers Marketing Boards, which lobby governments to give them special treatment.